Welcome on in, hockey fans, to another New York City Raiders Bantam Hoppy game on Midnight Sports. That's hockey. For all of you who don't know what hoppy is, it's October 2nd, and we've got a good one for you today as the Raiders kick off their first state game of the season. Some of you may be wondering what that means. Each state game this season will count toward the LIAHL state play-in tournament standings. How a team does in its regular season, state games, determines where that team is seeded for the play-in tournament. Once those state regular season games are completed, the Raiders will participate in that state play-in tournament. It's a single elimination tournament in which the winningest teams within that tournament move on to the New York State tournament at the end of the season. As such, today's game, and all games like today's games, are important for seeding purposes. If all of that is a little too complicated, or you didn't tune in to Midnight Sports just to listen to a bunch of legalese, we understand, don't worry. We've got a good youth hockey game here on tap for you today. The Raiders are coming off a hard-fought one yesterday, where they dropped a decision 5-3 to the Rinks out in Hauppauge, Long Island. The Raiders fought back from an early hole and showed great resolve in clawing their way back into the game, nearly coming back from a 3-0 deficit through the middle of the first period. The Raiders will look to get in the win column today against a strong Island Kings team. The Kings are 4-1 in non-league games on the season, having put up double-digit goal-scoring numbers in 3 of their first 5 contests. They're also 1-1 in state games this season, having lost to the Rinks 6-1 and having beaten the Long Island Mustangs by a score of 6-4. Expect a tight contest today as the Raiders look to use yesterday's second and third period momentum to counter a high-powered Kings offense. Stay right here for Period 1's Puck Drop. It's coming up next on Midnight Sports. But first, we'll give you an extended look in here at warm-ups as both the Raiders and the Kings get ready for the bout. Well, the buzzer has sounded on warm-ups. The Raiders getting some last-minute instruction there from Coach Coffey. Looks like it'll be Jason Bricker in net tonight for the Raiders. And the Kings will skate over to their bench as well for those last-minute instructions from their coaching staff. Coach Coffey explaining to his players, come out strong and fast. Slow starts have been a bit of a hiccup for the Raiders past couple of games. I'm sure he's looking for them to start smartly, quickly, and strongly. It will be Bricker headed toward the net for the Raiders. It looks like the Raiders will send a line over the boards of Marchuka, Petrosinelli, and Meyerwich. Tanoff and Gosler out as the defensive pair. And the officials make sure both goalies are ready, and they'll check the scorekeeper as well. The officials look ready, the players look ready, and we've got puck drop in period 1. The Raiders win that forward. Petrosinelli files you then try and collect the puck. Said Marchuka gums it up in the neutral zone. A bouncing puck, though, comes all the way back to Tanoff in the defensive zone. Tanoff now with the puck on the forehand behind his own net. Fakes out one man and comes back the other way. A self-reverse. Bank shot right up to Petrosinelli and out of the zone. Kings will take over there in the neutral zone. Kings have the puck. They work it up through the neutral zone, but only so far as Gosler, who gets in the way of the play. Now the Kings break the other way. They're in the offensive zone. They have a 2-on-2 going. A nice stick lift there on the back check by Meyerowicz keeps that puck from getting all the way to the net. Now Marchuka comes in to help Meyerowicz get the puck up to the blue line. It hits the point. Slap shot comes in, but it's blocked there. Now Petrosinelli has the puck. He's got a streaking Marchuka up the right wing. Takes it himself now into the offensive zone. Sends a shot in wide of the cage. Meyerowicz picks up there at the far half board. Meyerowicz still fighting for the puck. Sends it deeper into Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli at the end boards. Takes his man with a heavy hit out of the play. Tries to round the cage. Instead, puck rolls off his stick, and the Kings are able to break the other way. Kings break the other way, but they're going to make a line change. So they dump it on in, and Bricker will go behind the net to slow that puck down. Raiders will also make some changes too. Now Blake Hyder has the puck in his own zone. Sends that up to Finkelstein. Finkelstein has it in the neutral zone. Puck comes off his stick though. Hyder there for support. Puck now rolls over to Dom Pizarro. Pizarro sends that back to Nate Kishlevsky. Had a wonderful game yesterday. He sends that puck up to Sam Berliner. Berliner in the high slot. Finds Finkelstein. Finkelstein on the forehand. Sends one in on cage. Puck rolls in the crease and then sat on there by the Kings goaltender. All saves count the same. And that one did not end up in the back of the net. Still nothing here. 13:31 left to go here in the first period. Offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. It'll be Berliner, Finkelstein, and Pizarro out there with Steinfink and Aiden as the defenders. Berliner over the far dot, looking to win this on the backhand. He does win it over on the backhand, all the way past Aiden, though, and he'll track back to the neutral zone to recover. Nice backhand bank pass through the neutral zone, finds Pizarro. Pizarro gets the puck in farther, finds Berliner. Now back to Pizarro. Pizarro still. Pizarro to the slot, finds Finkelstein, hits a skate, and the Kings goalie comes and pounces on that rolling puck. We'll get another stoppage in play. A nice 16-second passage of play there for the Raiders as they were threatening in the low slot, but gobbled up first by the Kings goaltender. New lines out again. It'll be Marchuka, Samosi, and Kalemba as the forwards. Tanoff and Gosler back out as the defenders. That puck comes up to Gosler at the blue line. He goes point to Tanoff. Tanoff works that in deeper. Marchuka now fires in at the end boards. Puck flicked just past him. Kalemba goes to recover. Gosler beats him to it and sends it in deeper. Puck sits there momentarily and then evades Gosler as it comes out of the zone. Samosi backtracks to cover for his defender. He sends a bank pass up through the neutral zone, and Kalemba fires that in deeper, and now he'll be out on the forecheck to try and recover the puck. Kings evade him. They send it only so far as the point, and Gosler pounds that puck back into the offensive zone. Marchuka now fires in on the forecheck. Instead, the Kings are able to bounce the puck out of the zone, and Gosler will have to recover in the neutral zone. He gets the puck on his forehand, looks for a point-to-point pass, instead goes diagonally, though, as Tanoff was covered. Puck comes up to Samosi, gets caught in his skates, and the Kings look to break the other way, but not before Kalemba cuts that off. Marchuka now passes that back to Gosler, who returns the favor. Puck comes into the neutral zone. The Raiders will make a change. Tanoff comes to gum up a play while the Raiders are changing. Samosi still out there as well. Gosler, too. Gosler behind his own net. Reverses over to Samosi. Samosi has the puck. He's at the near half boards. Comes up to the point, and the Kings shot goes wide. Kings try and recover. Instead, Vigliotti picks up the puck and looks to slap it out of his zone. He is able to get it past the blue line, but only briefly. No offside on that, as the Raiders still fight to recover the puck. Berliner in for support. Vigliotti loses a stick at the blue line. He picks it up there, and the Kings pick up the puck in the defensive end. They're able to get the puck to the blue line, but not out on the first try. Finally able to do so, though, into the neutral zone, and they pick up the puck and look to dump it in the offensive zone. Nate Kishlevsky cuts off his man, though, and fires the puck right back up through the neutral zone. Berliner, quick on the forecheck, sends that puck all the way in the offensive zone, and the Kings will have to recover behind their own net there. Berliner, though, harasses his man. Now Fauci has the puck, tries to send it to the slot. He does find Vigliotti in the slot, who gets handcuffed by his defender. The puck does come out of the zone. Comes out to Blake Hyder. Hyder has the puck in the neutral zone. He goes to recover that rolling puck and tries to send it deeper. Berliner in for support. Puck sits at the blue line until the Kings recover it in the defensive zone. Then they send a pass to the weak side and break all the way into the offensive zone. But they're offside right now, and they'll have to recoil in the neutral zone. Kings do that. They're in their half of the neutral zone and send a puck up, but only so far as the Raiders. Momentarily. Their offside are the Kings as they break into the offensive zone there at 10:58 left to go here in the first period, and it gives us time for some station identification. You're watching this game on Midnight Sports. With Midnight Sports, the only commute you'll have to worry about is from your fridge to your couch. Midnight Sports! Neutral zone drop there, won by the Kings, back, and now they dump it into the offensive zone. Icing will be waved here. Steinfink takes over the puck behind his own net, tries to send it up to the near side. Kings sniff that play out and throw one through the slot. Nobody home there, and so Meyerowicz picks up the puck. He's able to slap it out of his zone. Fighting hard for it, gets it all the way over to Petrosinelli, who's in the high slot on that forehand with a laser shot, just misses the net. Rebound comes out front. Kings pounce on it first. They have it behind their own net, now at the far half wall and up to the blue line. No farther than the point, though, initially, as Aiden keeps them in. Kings take that rolling puck now past their blue line and look for that diagonal pass through the neutral zone. They find it, but Steinfink takes his man off the puck and then takes a heavy hit at his own end boards to keep the puck there and out of trouble. Raiders look to break out. They get it to the far point, but no farther. Royals throw a high shot in, hits the post, but no harm, no foul. That's a high stick anyway by the Kings. And this faceoff's going to come well out of the zone as that puck was deflected down by the Kings on net, but illegally so. So no penalty, just a faceoff all the way back in the Kings' defensive zone for that high stick. And we still have 5-on-5 hockey here, but it gives the Raiders a chance to change their lines. They've got Finkelstein, Berliner, and Pizarro out as the forwards, Tanoff and Gossler as the defensive pair. Berliner looks to win that faceoff, wins it to himself, sends it over the slot. A quick shot there by Pizarro, taken out of the play, but he gets the shot off, saved nicely by the Kings goaltender. Now the Kings working behind their own net to get this out of the zone. Tanoff covering at the near point. Puck goes in farther, though, with some hard work by Berliner. Pizarro fires in on the forecheck. Puck comes to the far half wall, still not out. Raiders are able to keep it in. Gossler with a shot that comes up on the Kings goaltender. It's still loose. Berliner looks to send that in net. Still loose, still loose. Can't get the shot on goal. Good defensive work there by the Kings. Keeps that puck out, and now they look to break out of their zone. They're able to get it out of their zone. They're through the neutral zone. Gossler's back for cover. Kings try and send a shot on goal. Instead, Gossler steps in the way and blocks that shot all the way to the near corner, and it rolls to the far corner. Far half wall now are the Kings working. Finkelstein in the right spot, cuts out that slot pass and gets it out of the zone. Kings take back over in the neutral zone. Raiders trying to get possession of this puck in the neutral zone. Berliner working hard all the way right in front of the scorekeeper. Puck looks stuck in some skates. 3 Kings in for support. Referees yelling to move the puck. Still stuck in some skates. We're going to get a whistle here if that puck doesn't bounce free soon. Pizarro now working. Puck does finally come free. Finkelstein takes his man out of the play. Pizarro has it in the slot, but it looks like he's just offside. And we'll get a stoppage in play here at 8:53 left to go in the first period. Some real end-to-end action, but you have to like the push from the Raiders to get in on the Kings goaltender as often as they have. Marchuka now at this faceoff just outside the offensive zone for the Raiders. He's got Samosi and Kalemba out there with him. Marchuka leans over. He's got Koslevsky and Hyder behind him. Marchuka wins that over to Kalemba, who dumps that puck in deeper. Now Marchuka in the forecheck. Kalemba's able to keep it in the zone. Koslevsky calling for it at the blue line. Puck now comes into the crease. It's covered briefly, but it's loose. And the Raiders unable to put that in. Comes up to Koslevsky, throws one in on net, blocked, kicked to the side by a Kings defender. Now the Raiders look to send something softly in on net. Puck's still loose in the slot. Jabbing at it are the Raiders. They keep pushing it forward. That looks like that puck is in. It is in. That's a Raiders goal. Well, that's a Raiders goal. They had about 20 cracks at that goal. Looks like Luke Marchuka was the one who was able to push it past the line as he'll get his first congratulations from the bench in this game. And it's Raiders 1, Kings nothing. 8:25 left to go here in the first period. Ensuing drop will be Berliner, Fauci, and Vigliotti out as the forwards. It looks like Steinfink and Aiden out as the defensive pair. Now the game stopped momentarily here as the referees try and figure out whose mouth guard was on the ice, as all players must have a mouth guard. In any event, the puck gets dropped as all players on the ice currently have a mouth guard. The Raiders end up in control of that puck in their own defensive end. Aiden works that up to Fauci in the neutral zone. Now the Kings work it back the other way. A bit of a game of tennis, and we're in the right spot in New York for that in Flushing Meadows. Kings now take over in their own end, but only so far as Berliner, and now the Kings take over that rolling puck. They break in the offensive end. They're on the forehand. They send that puck high of the cage, and Vigliotti goes to try and recover. He's blocked off by the linesman, but Berliner there to block that shot from the point and not let it get to net. Now Berliner through the neutral zone. He's got Vigliotti with him for support, looking for that slot pass. Instead, taken out of the play. The Kings look to break the other way. They come weak side. And they push that puck up to the neutral zone, but Gosler, with good gap control there, is able to keep that puck from getting farther. We get a stoppage in play, though, here, as we have a Raider down. That looks to be Sam Berliner. He took a hard crash into the corner. He's up, skating off. It looks to be in some pain as he does so. He's under his own power on his way back to the bench, and can only hope that Sam feels better soon, and quickly. Now ensuing face-off after that stoppage in play with 7:41 left to go here in the first period. It will be Marchuka just outside the Raiders' defensive zone. The Kings try and dump it in, only make it so far as Gosler. That puck comes to the high slot. Now a shot comes in on Bricker, and he's able to stop that immediately. No rebound coming. Nice save by Jason Bricker there. 7:33 left to go here in the first period. Defensive zone draw coming to Bricker's left. Same lines will stay out. Marchuka looks to win this on the forehand. The Kings come away with it to the high slot, but the Raiders fired in. Petrosinelli takes his man out of the play, and now Marchuka can break. He's got Meyerowicz behind him. Marchuka's able to send a shot in. It's saved nicely there by the Kings goaltender. And we get another frozen puck. It's 7:29 left to go in the first period. Well, if you like end-to-end action, this is your game. A lot of activity around both creases. Raiders will have another offensive zone draw coming up here to the Kings goaltender's left. Marchuka wins that back to Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli fires a shot just wide of the cage. The Kings will pick up at the near half wall. They fire that out of the zone. Puck going all the way down. Petrosinelli gets in the way of his man, and now the puck just comes on cage there to Bricker, and he's able to cover. And by a face-off. 7:16 left to go here in the first period. The Raiders will be able to change their forwards out after that stoppage in play. Looks like it'll be Finkelstein over the dot, looking to win this on the forehand. Puck comes back up to the near point, but it's sniffed out there by Bizarro on the point-to-point pass. He's got a 2-on-0 developing here. Vigliotti in front of the cage. He passes it over to Vigliotti, and it's stopped just before it gets to Vigliotti. A wonderful save by the Kings goaltender there on that one-time pass into the low slot from Bizarro to Vigliotti. Puck stopped by the Kings goaltender, and we'll get an offensive zone draw for the Raiders with 7:05 left to go in the first period. Same lines stay out. Finkelstein tries to win that over to Bizarro. The Kings now try and push it up. They push it up past the point. Blake Hyder goes to recover. Hyder has the puck at the red line. He looks to dump this in. Dumps it softly in. The Kings take over possession. They're able to send that all the way up. Now we have a semi-break here for the Kings. The break is on. They're in on Bricker. Bricker's able to get enough of that puck to send it to the post, and then the ensuing rebound rolled right through the low slot. Kings couldn't get their stick on it, and the Raiders will look to get this out of the zone. They live to fight another day on that one, do the Raiders. Nice piece there of work done by Jason Bricker. Raiders now in the offensive zone. Vigliotti's shot goes high, but the Raiders recover possession. Finkelstein in the far corner. Finkelstein on the forehand, looking for a pass in front of the net. Puck comes up high, all the way out to Aiden at the point. Aiden just cycles that puck in deeper, and Finkelstein will go to try and recover. He's got Bizarro for support. The Kings fire that all the way around, and unless this gets on net, no, we'll get an icing waved on this, so the Raiders will have to recover as the clock continues to run. Just over 6 minutes left in this game. Raiders do recover that. Pass comes up to Finkelstein. He's able to skate that out of the zone. He's got Bizarro streaking up the left wing. Pass just evades him, but Bizarro will fire in on the forecheck here, so the Raiders can change behind the play. Bizarro now behind the net. He's on the forehand, looking up to the point. He's got Aiden up there. He's got Marchuka coming through the slot. He finds him there, just in the skates. Shot ends up on net. Saved nicely, though, by the Kings. Finkelstein recovers. Puck comes up to Steinfink at the point. Steinfink sends that puck in deeper. Finkelstein goes back to do some work. Marchuka now has the puck at the end boards. Finkelstein in the slot. Marchuka looking for him. Pass comes up to him. The one-timer blocked there by the Kings goaltender. Now the puck up to Steinfink at the point. Evades his stick, and Aiden recovers in the neutral zone. Feathered pass over to Marchuka by Aiden. Buys the Raiders enough time to clear the zone. Marchuka now in on the forecheck as 4 Raiders go off and 4 Raiders come on. The Kings pump that up to the neutral zone, and Samosio now recover in his own defensive end. He's got Gosler far, but instead opts for Kalemba at the blue line. Puck evades Marchuka, but Samosi picks it up in the neutral zone, able to dump that in deeper. Kalemba now in on the far forecheck. Kalemba has it on the backhand. He's able to scoop that up to Samosi. Puck just rolls over his stick. The Kings will take over their defensive end. They send one up through the neutral zone. and the Raiders will again have to recover. It's Tanoff now in his own end. Sends that hard all the way around the boards. Kalemba picks it up. He finds a streaking Marchuka. Just evades his grasp as the Kings come away with it in the neutral zone. Still the Kings in the neutral zone. The puck's sitting at the blue line right now. The Kings will dump that in eventually, and Gosler will have to recover. Kalemba over support. Kalemba gets to the puck first. He's able to fire that up to Marchuka. Marchuka turns to the neutral zone. He's got some speed and Samosi with him. Marchuka sends a shot in on net. Saved and frozen there at 4:21 left to go here in the first period. It'll be an offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. Well, not much time spent in the neutral zone in this game. It's offensive zones only. 4:21 left to go. Berliner back out there. You love to see that. He wins that faceoff back to Blake Hyder at the point. Hyder now fires in to keep the puck in the zone. He's on the backhand, sends something through the slot, sticked aside by the Kings goaltender. Fauci fires in, gets the puck up to Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky tries to hold the point, but two Kings are on him. He's unable to do so. Now the Raiders look to work that puck back in. Vasilevsky stands up to a man who's really working him there at the blue line and keeps the puck in the offensive zone. Berliner now has the puck. Saucers one over to Hyder. Hyder sends a puck in on net. It's blocked before it reaches goal, and the puck comes all the way out of the zone. Vasilevsky will have to twirl with it. He does. He buys the Raiders enough time to get back in the zone. Now Berliner sends the puck deeper to himself. He's at the far dot. Now he's at the far corner. He's taken out of the play there, and Finkelstein picks up the puck. Now Berliner has it again. Berliner looking for Fauci in the slot. Fauci working to box out his man. Berliner dancing around 2 and 3 men. Puck does come to the slot, but Fauci was taken out of the play before the puck got to him. Hyder fires in to try and keep the puck in the zone, and now Finkelstein. Puck is eventually saucered out of the zone, and Vasilevsky back to cover. Vasilevsky at 3:21 as the clock continues to tick. The Raiders fire that puck up into the offensive zone. Raiders still with the puck in the offensive zone now. Fauci takes over and works the puck in deeper as Berliner's in for support. Berliner at the near half wall. Kings take the puck off him, but only so far as Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli loads up that cannon of a shot. It's deflected up and out of play, and we'll get another stoppage at 3:01 left to go here in the first period. A real good push here by the Raiders. You've got to figure they're hoping to be rewarded for that push. Marchuka wins that faceoff over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz has the puck. He sends it back to Marchuka. Now Aiden has the puck. Feathers a backhand down to Meyerowicz, and Marchuka looks to pick it up. The Kings beat him to it. Aiden kicks the puck over to Meyerowicz, though. Now Meyerowicz curls with it. Gets it on the forehand. He's at the far dot. It would have been a bad angle shot. It was blocked anyway by the Kings. Now Marchuka goes to work in the far corner. Marchuka with the puck. He sends that down to the end boards. Petrosinelli fires in from the slot and works that all the way up to the point, up to Steinfink. He's unable to corral it there, so he'll have to curl back around in the neutral zone. Puck comes off his stick, but he's able to get it back before any Kings get there. Send something in the offensive zone. Raiders break in, but without possession. Raiders now will have to get out of the offensive zone while the puck's in the neutral zone, lest they be offside. Good forechecking there by the Kings. Sends that puck farther in. The Raiders will have to recover in their own end. Steinfink now has the puck at the near corner. Steinfink still with the puck, looking to skate it out. He's got possession and he's got a puck on his forehand. He sends that up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz has that puck roll off his stick. The Kings come away with it. They're in their own end. The Raiders are circling. The Raiders do cut out a neutral zone pass. Now Meyerowicz with speed back into the zone. A tight offside call there. And we'll get a stoppage in play with 1:56 left to go here in the first period. It's still Raiders 1, Kings nothing. Faceoff's going to come just outside the Raiders zone. And the Kings win that faceoff back into their zone, but the Raiders pour in, try and take possession. They do, but only once the puck has come out of the zone. And now we'll get another offside call with 1:49 left to go here in the first period. Ensuing faceoff, won by the Kings back into their zone. They're able to work it out of the zone, but only so far as the blue line. The Raiders dump back in, but we get another offside call here, as there's just not much real estate to work with over at that far dot just outside the blue line. We're going to continue to be offside as that puck sits over there right in front of the Kings bench. Ensuing faceoff. Raiders win that forward. Bigliotti does dump that in. He goes to chase his own dump in, looking for Pizarro in the slot. chops that puck over to the far corner, and now it's at the end boards. The Kings will pick up possession and look to send that up and out of the zone. They do, and Pizarro takes over in the neutral zone. Puck comes off his stick. Now a 2-on-1 breaking the other way. Tanoff back. He's able to gum up that pass very well, and Pizarro's able to break the other way through the neutral zone. It's a 1-on-2, but the Kings defenseman blows a tire. Pizarro tries to get onto the forehand. Unable to do so, and the Kings take over. Now the Kings fire that up, but not out of the zone. They cycle back into their own defensive zone. Pizarro in on the forecheck. Marchuka fires in as well. Tanoff dumps that puck all the way in, just misses the cage on that dump in. The Kings will take over in their own end at the near corner. Puck comes up to Gosler at the point. Gosler tries to walk the line a bit, instead sends it down to Finkelstein. Finkelstein to Pizarro. Pizarro looking net front for Marchuka. Finds Marchuka net front. Marchuka gets handcuffed, though, by that pass. Comes all the way up to Tanoff, who backhands it deeper into the zone. Puck still in front of the net. Comes to Marchuka between his feet, looking to get that puck on the backhand. Blocked that shot, did the Kings defenseman, and kicks it up to Tanoff. Tanoff dumps that puck back in. Rolling puck finds Pizarro, but only behind him, and now Finkelstein takes over the puck. He tries to send something in on Cage. Marchuka taken out of the play there. No call for interference or cross-checking. Pizarro cycles that puck in deeper to Finkelstein. Finkelstein sends it to Pizarro. Pizarro tries the one-timer. Puck comes off his stick. He finds Marchuka. Marchuka now sends a shot in. Pizarro's there. And then Finkelstein. Finkelstein with the cleanup. That's a Raiders goal. Another Raiders goal on the rebound there. And that'll be Eli Finkelstein with the goal after the Marchuka shot. Well, 10 seconds left to play. The Raiders really just snuck that in right before the end of the first period. It's Raiders 2, Kings nothing, with 10 seconds left to play here in the first period. Now the Kings win that faceoff. Only so far as Marchuka, though. Marchuka with a quick shot in with 4 seconds left, and it stopped nicely there by the Kings goaltender. Well, 2.5 seconds. The scoreboard has now been adjusted. Offensive zone draw. It's going to have to be a bang-bang play here for the Raiders to get anything on goal. Raiders have their sticks raised for a one-timer here. Marchuka tries to win it back to his one-timers behind him. And we get a puck drop. Not won cleanly, though. Oh, Petrosinelli does get the shot off. Just misses the cage. After one, it's going to be Raiders 2, Kings nothing, and it gives us time to visit with our sponsors when we come back. Well, we're back, and it gives us time to thank our sponsors. Let's listen in to what they have to say today. Today's game on Midnight Sports is brought to you by Text Bubbles. Hockey fans, you know that moment when you send a text and you see the old ellipsis pop up? It's the person you're texting getting back to you. Just think, they could be saying anything. The suspense, the drama, the unknown. But then sometimes the bubbles just disappear. What happened? Is the person editing the message thinking of sending you something different? Did they vanish off the face of the earth mid-message? Or worse, are they just a sociopath who types out a message and then doesn't send it? Who knows? Text bubbles. Who even asked for this feature? Well, there goes the buzzer for the first intermission. We've got 15 minutes put back up on the board. Period 2's puck drop coming right now. Period of the long change. Marchuka looks to win that back to his defenseman. Puck sits at the center dot, but Marchuka does come away with it. Sends it up to Hyder. Hyder tries to work that puck forward. He's got Bigliotti and Fauci out there with him. Does Marchuka as the forward line. Shot comes in there from Fauci. Loose on the Kings goaltender. but the Raiders unable to put it in, and now the Kings break the other way. They're in the neutral zone. They send that puck in deep. Koszlewski goes to recover. Koszlewski and Hyder is the defensive pairing out there. The Kings try and dump that in deeper. They do. Puck at the near corner. Rolling puck comes through the slot, but Bigliotti picks it up. Bigliotti sends that puck wide up to Marchuka. Now Marchuka down the right wing sends a shot in on the Kings goaltender, who's able to glove that with 14:23 left to go here in the second period. We'll get a stoppage in play. This is going to be an offensive zone draw for the Raiders. We get 5 new skaters out there. It's going to be Steinfink and Aiden as the defensive pairing. Meyerowicz, Berliner, and Petrosinelli as the forwards. Berliner wins that to Petro. He loads up, just misses wide of the cage, and now the Kings will come away with it, but only so far as the point. Steinfink dumps that back in, and Meyerowicz fires it on the forecheck. He'll take over here in the near corner at the end boards, and now to the end boards properly. Sends that puck over to Berliner. They're cycling well down low, are the Raiders. Puck comes up to Meyerowicz. He tries a one-timer. Rolling puck comes in on the Kings goaltender and then cleared out by the Kings defenseman, and Aiden will pick it up here in the neutral zone. Aiden has the puck on his forehand. He's got Steinfink behind him for support. He reverses over to him, but the Kings do break in on the forecheck. It's Kings on a 1-on-2. Puck comes up on Bricker. He's able to chest that down, and Steinfink's able to get that puck over to the far corner and out of danger. Aiden now picks up. Aiden on the forehand skates up through the neutral zone. Still Aiden. Aiden now dumps that in. He gives chase. Berliner now in on the forecheck, and Aiden will curl up around to get back to the point. Kings come away with it only so far as Petrosinelli, though, at the far half wall. Petrosinelli dumps that puck back into Berliner. Berliner on the forehand tries to return the favor to Petro, unable to connect. Aiden picks up in the neutral zone and sends that over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz has the puck. He dumps that in, takes a hit as he does, stays on his feet. Berliner now picks up the puck at the far half wall. Berliner self-pass to the far corner, looking in the slot for Meyerowicz. Feathers one over to him, cut out, though, by the Kings momentarily. Berliner behind his net. Excuse me, not his net, the Kings net. Kings do take the puck off him eventually after firing in twice. Kings still with the puck, looking to get that out of the zone. It's in the near corner. Looks like the Raiders have possession, and they're trying to work that puck out of the corner and get some sort of shot on goal. The Raiders do, under Berliner, get that puck out of the corner and cycle it up to the point. Tanoff now has the puck, but blows a tire, and the Kings have to push that the other way. Gossler picks up the puck in his own zone, sends that around the boards all the way up to Berliner. Berliner now in the neutral zone. Kings man gets in the way of his pass. Raiders recover and send it farther in the neutral zone, but not into the offensive zone. The Kings will now dump in. Meyerowicz goes and gets in the way of his man. Picks up the puck at the end boards and tries to send something out to Berliner. Instead, it's cut out by the Kings. Kings still looking to get the puck on a forehand. Meyerowicz working hard to get that puck out of the zone. He does. Kings now in the neutral zone with possession. They send an Ephus pitch up through the neutral zone, but not in the offensive zone yet. Rolling puck comes to Gossler. Gossler skates past his man and gains the offensive zone. Still Gossler on the forehand. He lasers one off the goalie's mask and harmlessly now to the far corner as far as the Kings are concerned. Kings take up possession as the Raiders make a bit of a change behind the play. Hyder has the puck. He's got Koszlewski as his defensive pair out there. Hyder still with the puck. He's able to dump in after gaining the red line. Dumps that all the way down to the end boards. And the Raiders fire in on the forecheck. Finkelstein out there pops that puck off the boards to the far dot. And Marchuka goes to work to collect it. Now Marchuka at the end boards. Tries to pick up his own pass. Instead, Bizarro's out there to help him out. Puck comes just past Hyder. Hyder chops it back forward. But the rolling puck comes out of the zone, and the Raiders will have to pick up. Koszlewski gets to the puck first, takes his man off of the puck, and sends it up to Bizarro. Bizarro tries to go past his man. Instead, the Kings come away with it. Marchuka chops that puck out of play from going forward. Puck stays in, though, and a shot comes in. Bricker blockers that aside. That was going to find the top corner. A wonderful save there by Jason Bricker. And Finkelstein has the puck on his forehand. Rolls just off his forehand. The Kings try and come the other way, but Finkelstein gets another crack at it, and he's able to backhand that up and into the Kings bench area. And we'll get a stoppage in play with 10:54 left to go here in the second period. Hockey fans, are you taking selfies during the game? Have pictures of the action? If you put those pictures on Instagram, tag them with #MidnightSports, and we'll give you a shout out in our stories. Midnight Sports. Ensuing face-off won by the Raiders into their own defensive end. Aiden tries to curl with it, keeps his feet after taking 2 checks, and Steinfink out for support. Steinfink now behind his own net. The Kings are firing in, trying to get on the scoreboard here. They're pushing a bit. Samosi now at the far corner, tries to get that puck off the boards and out of the zone. Instead, Berliner now back to get the puck. Sends that over. And Kalemba is able to get that puck out of the zone. Samosi now with the puck on the forehand. He dumps it in deeper. Kalemba fires in on the forecheck. He should get to this puck first, and he does. Sends that back to Samosi at the end board. Samosi tries a real bad angle shot. Comes right out to Berliner, and Berliner sends that in on the Kings goalie. It's saved there with 10:15 left to go in the second period. Now it shows you how quickly a play can develop. Samosi tried a shot from behind the cage, trying to bank it off the goaltender. It came out in front to Berliner, who was unable to put it past the Kings goaltender, but a grade A chance there for the Raiders, and an even better save by the Kings goaltender. Marchuka now at the far dot in the offensive zone. Tries to win that forward. Instead, the Kings come away with it. They only fire it as far as Vigliotti, who sends a rolling puck in on cage, and it's kicked aside by the Kings goaltender. Puck comes up to the point. Gossler there. Fauci almost with the redirect right in front of the Kings goaltender. Saved nicely again by that goaltender of the Kings. Kings able to get it out of the zone. They're through the neutral zone now into the offensive zone. They've got a 2-on-2. A nice bit of tight area passing there by the Kings. Sends one in on Bricker, who stands tall. That puck rolls up onto his chest, but he's able to keep it in the equipment and freeze it there with 9:48 left to go in the second period. It'll be a defensive zone draw for the Raiders to Bricker's left. Raiders making some late changes here. They are the home team. They do get that last line change. It'll be Petro and Berliner out there. They've got Meyerowicz with them. Rolling puck comes in on Bricker. Bricker jumps on it immediately. And we get another stoppage in play here. Looks like it'll be Tanoff and Gossler as the defensive pairing staying out there. So same 5 skaters here for the Raiders. Same draw. Ken Berliner over the dot. He's jammed up there on his stick. Kings can only send that to the corner. And Kings do have possession. They look for a slot pass. No one home as the puck comes all the way through the slot. Meyerowicz able to guide that puck out of the zone. Trying to take his self-pass through the neutral zone. Kings come away with it, and they dump it right back in the offensive zone. Tanoff for cover. Banks one. Puck off the glass, past one man and then two. Petrosinelli comes up with the puck in the neutral zone. Tries to get that puck in onto his forehand. Instead, Berliner comes away with it. Big hit in the slot. Gums up that shot. Doesn't get through on cage, and the Kings chop it out. Tanoff now has to turn and recover the puck in the neutral zone. He again uses the boards well. Sends that puck up through the neutral zone. Now Petrosinelli has the puck on his forehand. His shot's blocked briefly. Rolling puck, though, comes out to him, and then the follow-up shot just misses wide after a nice block. Puck comes over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz has the puck on his forehand, tries to send it in. Blocked there. Now the puck comes in from the point. Kashklevsky blocked again in front. Kings have a lot of bodies in front of the goal right now. Hard to get pucks through. Kings are able to break out of their zone. And they have a 2-on-1 developing if they hurry. Saucered pass over by the Kings, but guided nicely by Tanoff over harmlessly to the near half wall. Now the puck comes through the slot. Again, Tanoff in good position to lift the stick of his man. Berliner now working hard to get the puck back at the near half wall. He does. He has it on the forehand. Sends it up to Meyerowicz, who's streaking on the weak side. Meyerowicz now has it on the forehand. He's able to dump that in, and the Raiders will get a little change out of this as Meyerowicz goes in on the forecheck, but 4 new skaters come out. Kings take over possession in their own end. They can't get it out of their zone yet, but we do get a touch up here. Looks like we'll have a penalty call. Just unclear what that penalty call is. Looks like maybe too many men on the ice for the Raiders. We'll see. Well, unclear what the call was, but the result is the same. The Raiders will go to the box for 2 minutes here. Looks like, given how the referee was counting, it was a too many men on the ice penalty. 6 skaters out there for the Raiders, and of course, only allowed to have 5 if your goalie is on the ice. So it's going to be a defensive zone draw as the Raiders look to kill this 2-minute penalty with 8:09 left to go in the second period. And Marchuka wins that face-off back to Gossler. Gossler's able to fire that puck around to the point, all the way up to Finkelstein. Tries to get out of the zone, but the Kings beat him to it. Now Marchuka on the back check. That shot sent wide by that back check by Marchuka. Kings still with possession. They look for that slot pass. Bounces over everyone's stick into the far point. Now the Kings load up. Slap shot goes wide of the cage. The Kings look to recover before the puck gets out of the zone. They're unable to do so as Finkelstein pushes that puck forward through the neutral zone. Good play by him. Relieves some of the pressure in the defensive zone for the Raiders. Raiders just dump right back in the neutral zone. And they'll make the Kings go and chase it. Kings take over possession at their end boards. They're through their own zone now as they skate up into the neutral zone. Marchuka fires in on his man, takes his man out of the play, but we're going to get a tripping call on Luke Marchuka with 7:23 left to go here in the second period. He was playing the puck. Unfortunate there that the stick also caught the Kings skater skates. So for the next minute and 14 seconds, the Raiders will be really short-handed. It'll be 5-on-3 for the Raiders as that 2-minute tripping penalty is put on the board. Petrosinelli now to take this face-off. Won by the Kings over to the wing, and now up to the point, but out of the zone, importantly. Gosler and Tanoff as the defensive pair out there on this 5-on-3. Just over a minute to go on the 5-on-3. Loose puck in the neutral zone, picked up by Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli passes the puck to himself and into the offensive end where the Kings take over. Kings now through the neutral zone. A lot of space out there as two skaters are off the ice. Kings send that all the way to the end boards, and they circle around Bricker's cage. Kings still with the puck, still circling, looking to send it to the far point. Point man there handcuffed. He's just had to dump it in, and Gosler will pick it up. Tries to send it out of the zone. Bouncing puck takes a strange carom off the glass boards, and the Kings pick it up in the offensive zone. Still the Kings circling with the puck. They've got two men in the slot. Didn't know which one would take it. Now on the forehand, they send something in. Bricker with one save, then two. Puck rolls harmlessly to the near corner. Kings still with possession of the offensive end. They try and send it in. Petrosinelli looks to get in the way of his man. Shot comes in on Bricker, and he's able to send that all the way to the end boards. Now the Raiders look to get that out. It's on Petrosinelli's stick in the slot. He's able to beat one man and skate all the way in the neutral zone. Then he's able to dump in and chase his own puck. The Raiders will get a change out of this. 3 tired skaters go off, 3 fresh skaters come on. Just 3 seconds left in this 5-on-3, and there'll still be 46 seconds left on the tripping call. It's 5-on-4 now. The Raiders have killed off one penalty. They look to kill off the second. Hyder fires in and take the puck off his man. He's in his defensive zone, but he has the puck. He's able to bank that up and out of the zone. Maybe just a bit too far as we'll get an icing call here. That's wave 5 skating as the Kings have possession in the offensive end. Puck now at the defensive end boards for the Raiders. They're able to pump that up and out of the zone, and they really have officially killed this penalty with just over 5 minutes left to play here in the second period. Still Raiders 2, Kings nothing. Clock continues to tick. Meyerwich in on the forecheck. Meyerwich still in there. The puck evades all the Raiders in the offensive zone. Steinfink will recover in the neutral zone. He hits the ref with that pass. Bigliotti picks up the puck. He's got the puck on his forehand, comes up to the blue line, loads up a shot that's deflected high over the cage, and the Kings will pick up at the end boards. Kings now have possession of the puck. They work that up to the near half wall, but not out. Aiden pinches in from a defensive position. He's able to keep the puck in the zone, and we're going to get a call coming up here. It looks like it'll be on the Kings as they'll go to the box for the first time tonight with 4:41 left to go here in the second period. Now we're going to get 2 minutes for cross-checking on the Kings and an offensive zone draw for the Raiders. Up 2 goals and up a man here in the second period. It'll be Fauci, Finkelstein, Marchuka, and Petrosinelli out there as the forwards, and they've got Silas Gosler as the defender on this power play. Marchuka sends that puck in deep. Now he's got the puck at the near half wall. Fauci turns for the puck. He's got the puck on his backhand, tries to send it to the slot, hits the back of the cage, and Finkelstein will recover the puck back over to Fauci. Fauci looks for it, he finds it at the end boards, takes his man out of the play, can't get a stick free, so he tries to kick it over to Finkelstein. Instead, Fauci does recover the puck. He's got the puck on his stick, looks for a wraparound on the backhand. Shut down there by the Kings goaltender, and we'll get a stoppage in play again with 4:13 left to go here in the second period, and a minute and 32 seconds left to go on that cross-checking penalty to the Kings. It looks like it'll be the same line staying out there. Fauci, Petro, and Finkelstein. And the Raiders win that backward. Looping puck comes in on the Kings goaltender. Saved nicely. And now a bouncing puck does come out of the zone. No, it doesn't. A judge to stay in. Kings fans don't agree with it, but the Raiders do keep the zone, at least momentarily. Pass almost comes from Fauci into the slot. Instead, it's cut out nicely by the Kings defender. Now the puck's at the near point. Gosler has it. He has it on the forehand. He just dumps it in, and Petrosinelli will recover. Petrocinelli looking to load up on the forehand. He finds Gossler at the point. Gossler sends a puck right off the cage of the Kings goaltender, and that's a save. Again, they do all count the same. Puck comes into the slot and then rolls wide. Fauci will fire in to try and recover at the near corner. Heavy hitting down the near corner. Sees the puck come to Gossler. Gossler again fires in. It goes right into the goalie's chest and glove, and we'll get a stoppage in play with 3:28 left to go here in the second period. Still 47 seconds left on the man advantage, as the second power play line will come out for the Raiders and the second penalty killing line will come out for the Kings. Well, you can't be disappointed with the push here and the number of shots the Raiders are generating on this power play. It'll be Berliner and Samosi out there with Columba as well. Koshlewski and Hyder as the defensive pairing. Puck now in the near corner. Still in the near corner with Columba. Berliner goes in for support. Comes up to Koshlewski. Comes off his skate. And the Kings will look to break the other way. Koshlewski covers. Sends that puck up to Samosi, who's able to find Berliner at center ice. Berliner still flicks the puck over to Columba, who gains the zone fairly and tries to send it back to Berliner. Berliner can't work that onto his forehand. The Kings come away with it in the defensive end. Just 19 seconds left to go on this power play for the Raiders. Hyder recovers in the neutral zone. Hyder on the forehand in the neutral zone. Now he gains the blue line and dumps that puck in. Samosi fires in on the forecheck. Samosi hunting his man and looking for the puck. Samosi finds the puck in the far corner, is able to gum up that play long enough to get Berliner time to find the puck at the end boards. Berliner on the backhand, looking to the point. He finds Hyder for the one-timer. Hyder doesn't get all of that puck as it rolls just wide of the cage. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. The Raiders still have the puck in the offensive zone, at least momentarily. The Kings are able to curl with that puck. And there's a big, long diagonal pass the Kings fans are calling for, but instead the Kings are able to skate that forward into Bricker, who sticks that aside smartly as the referee goes to close the penalty door that wasn't initially closed. Now the Kings work that back into the offensive zone. They're working hard to get possession of this puck. Koshlewski's working just as hard to take the puck off his man. It sits there at the far corner until the Kings turn and work it farther in the end boards. Hits the side of the cage, but Berliner picks up the puck and he's able to work that up to Columba. Columba now up the right wing. Finds Berliner at center ice, and the puck rolls over to Samosi, who's able to dump that in. The Raiders are going to get a 5-man line change out of this with 1:48 left to go here in the second period. Kings fire that up only so far as Finkelstein at the offensive blue line. Finkelstein looks to dump that puck in farther. He does to the far dot. Kings take over there, but only so far as a streaking Tanoff in the slot. Tanoff sends a wrist shot in, blockered aside by the Kings goaltender with 90 seconds left to go here in the second period. Kings now have the puck. They roll it up to the far point, only so far as Gossler is breaking in. The puck comes to Marchuki. Looks to find Pizarro, at the far post. Instead, the puck is just a little bit behind him. The Kings break the other way. They're through the neutral zone in the offensive zone now. Look to get on the forehand. They curl into the mid-slot to the Kings. Now on the backhand. Ooh, a shot pass goes just beyond the far post. And the Raiders break the other way. Now Pizarro through the neutral zone. He's got Marchuka coming with him. Pizarro passes to himself. He's taken out of the play there. No call. The net did come off its moorings, so we'll get a stoppage in play here as the net is off its moorings with 56.1 seconds left to go. We'll get a stoppage, but no penalty call for any hook or trip, so it'll still be 5-on-5 hockey, as the Raiders have an offensive zone draw here. It'll be Berliner. He's got Petrocinelli and Meyerowicz out there with him. Aiden and Steinfink as the defensive pair. Referee having a bit of a discussion with Berliner as he adjusts his helmet. It looks like Sam is set. Sam leans over, tries to win that over the slot on his backhand. Instead, the Kings come away with it. Under a minute to go. Meyerowicz fires in on that loose puck. Gums it up here at the near dot, but the Kings are able to break it out of the zone. And Steinfink makes the right play to fire that right back into the offensive zone and buy an offside, as opposed to letting two Kings skate past him with possession. 46.2 left to go here in the second period. It's Raiders 2, Kings nothing. Tight contest. Berliner leans over the dot here, just outside the offensive blue line. Berliner does win that on his backhand. Aiden looks to send that puck up to a forward. Instead, the Kings come away with it in the neutral zone. Steinfink now cuts out a pass, and Aiden will recover in his own zone. Aiden gets to the puck first. Diagonal pass doesn't make it entirely out of the zone. Kings do take over possession. Puck gets slapped around in the defensive zone there for the Raiders, at least momentarily, until Meyerowicz guides it all the way out of the zone. dangles his man in the neutral zone, and then the puck does roll off his blade with 22 seconds left to go. Steinfink now recovers in the defensive zone. Steinfink with the puck in his own zone on the forehand, looking for a teammate. He reverses over to Aiden. Aiden sends that weak side up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz sees the puck come just past him, but he touched up just enough to avoid an icing. 7 seconds left, 6, and the Kings will try and bury this puck in their own end here with just 2 seconds left to go in the second period. That'll be all she wrote here for the second period. It's still Raiders 2, Kings nothing. Stick around for period 3 coming up next. Well, while we're waiting for period 3 to start, we do have time to check in with one of our sponsors. Tonight's game on Midnight Sports is sponsored by Belts. Hockey fans, it's getting cold outside, so you reach for your old standby, your pants. But wait, that's not enough. You'll also need a belt for those pants. That's right, it's the year 2022, and the best technology that humans have invented for your pants is a belt. We can go to the moon, make particles collide, and even send messages to each other at the speed of light. But if you want your pants to stay up, better tie a piece of narrow leather around your body real tight. Belts. At least we're not suspenders. Well, we're waiting for the Raiders and the Kings to come out here with 15 minutes still on the board for period 3. Raiders protecting a 2-goal lead. They go into the final period of their first state game of this 2022-2023 season. The Kings will break first after getting strategy tips from their coaching staff, and now the Raiders are out as well. Looks like it'll be Fauci, Vigliotti, and Marchuka out as the forwards. We've got Gosler and Tanoff out as the defensive pairing. Both teams back to the same sides they started this game on. Period 3 puck drop is right now. Marchuka looks to win that forward. He fires in. The Kings come away with it in the neutral zone. Fauci gums up that pass, and Gosler is able to send that puck back up to the neutral zone in the offensive end. The Kings have possession. They skate through the neutral zone, and they flick one in long on Bricker. Goes just wide of the cage. Bricker guides it to the near corner anyway. Just missed a big hit, did the Raiders. Did Gosler, and the Kings still have possession. They're up at the far point now. They flick one in off the side of the cage, do the Kings, and now they have the puck behind the net. Bad angle shot misses. Bricker shuts that down. Puck comes up to Fauci, who's able to backhand that over to Vigliotti. Vigliotti at center ice looks to get that puck in deep. Sends that shot just wide of the cage, and Fauci looks to cover and pick up possession. He gums up the pass long enough for Gosler to fire in on his man. The Kings do skate it through neutral ice until Fauci picks it up. Marchuka calling for the puck. Puck hits at the blue line, and Marchuka's able to dump it in deeper. The Raiders will get a 5-man change out of this. The Kings pick up back in their own end. Both teams skating at a higher pace right now than they ended the second period with. Kalemba now has the puck in the neutral zone. Pours into the offensive zone with support. Leaves that for Hyder, and the Kings do come away with it, but only momentarily. And now they have full possession of it. Koslevsky takes over in the neutral zone. Tries to send that puck over to his forwards, weak side. Berliner cuts out the threat and picks up the puck on his forehand. Berliner now into the offensive zone. He's doing all the work himself right now. He's on the backhand looking to the cage. Instead, looks up toward the point. Sees nobody there. Sends it to the slot. A wonderful pass there. Can't quite be put in to the net by Samosi. Now another shot comes in. Still Kalemba trying to fire it in. Puck cleared out by the Kings defenseman and all the way out of the zone. Boy, it was a wonderful pass and a good shot too, just a better save. Sometimes that happens and the Kings live to fight another day. Berliner now has the puck in the offensive zone. Flicks that deeper into the zone all the way to the end wall. And Kalemba will pick up there on the forehand. Kalemba looking in the slot. He finds Berliner just to the side of the cage. Berliner pushed out of the play. The Kings try and flick that out of the zone. Now it's Hyder covering. Hyder on the backhand. Now on his forehand. Looks to work that up into the cage. Ooh, deflection there. Saved nicely. Berliner tried to get that puck in on net. And it was kicked aside by the Kings goaltender. Kalemba taken out of the play in the far corner. Still being taken out of the play. Just being leaned on by a Kings player there. The puck must be under him. Now the puck comes free to Samosi. Samosi able to skate backwards with possession of the puck and keep possession as he falls and works it to the far corner. Kings goalie recovers his stick as the Kings push that up to the point. They're going to be able to skate this out of the zone. Kings fire the other way through the neutral zone. They've got some speed, looking to get past Koslevsky. And now past Samosi. Puck comes up high and over the cage. And the Kings retain possession. They try and work that puck up to the near point. They do. Slap shot goes well wide. That was a slap pass. Nobody home at the far post. Kings still with possession. A good skate by Samosi kicks that out of the zone, though. Kings will have to recover, and the Raiders are going to be able to get a mini change out of this. Pizarro out on the ice. He's got Steinfink with him. Pizarro tries to get a stick in the way. He's able to do enough to send that pass long and wide, and Aiden now recovers. He's got the puck behind his own net. Looks to reverse. Steinfink fires over to recover the puck in the far corner. He's able to send that up to Finkelstein. Finkelstein looks for Marchuka. Instead, the back check of the Kings takes that puck off. Point-blank shot. Bricker's able to make a nice save there with his shoulder and keep that puck out of the back of the net. Raiders still looking to push this puck out of their zone. Unable to do so just yet. The Kings retain possession in the offensive zone and work the puck in deeper. They're cycling, not because they want to, but because they need to keep possession in the zone here. Just over 11 minutes left to go here in the third period as Aiden tries to flick that puck up to Finkelstein. He finds Finkelstein, who finds Pizarro streaking through the neutral zone. Now Pizarro turns on the Jets. Pizarro on the backhand, sends that in on goal. Just misses Marchuka on the pass, and Marchuka flicks that up to the high slot. Gossler's able to keep that puck in the zone. On the backhand, he sends a looping shot in on goal, and it's frozen there by the Kings goaltender with 11:01 left to go here in the third period. You're watching this game on Midnight Sports, and may I say, you look good doing it. Midnight Sports! Well, offensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders. It'll be Berliner trying to win it on the backhand. The Kings come away with it only momentarily, and Berliner tries to keep that puck from exiting the zone. Gossler picks it up in the neutral zone and fires it back in. Raiders are happy to kill some time off this game with 10:51 left to go. Too soon, though, to be parking the bus. Kings come away with it in the defensive end. Kings with the puck and possession through the neutral zone, looking to dump that puck in deep. Good bit of back checking there by Petrosinelli, and Meyerowicz keeps that puck from going any farther. Meyerowicz kicks that puck into the offensive zone. The Kings take over. Kings look to break through the neutral zone, but they're getting strangled there by some stout Raiders defense. Gossler now breaks in the offensive zone. He leaves that puck for Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz dances around one man. Petrosinelli with a one-timer blocked just to the side of the cage. Kings now look to get the puck out of their own end. They're on the forehand. They send a diagonal pass up off the boards, but that should hit the end line, and we should get an icing. We will, and it gives us time to visit with our last sponsor. Tonight's contest on Midnight Sports is sponsored by Umbrellas. Hockey fans, what if I told you there was a product that, during a rainstorm, could keep the upper 20% of your body dry, be difficult to handle in moderate winds, and nearly poke most passersby in the eye? What would you be willing to pay for such a wonder invention? $5? $10? $25? Well, you're in luck. Umbrellas are here to make your life just a little bit more expensive and a lot more miserable. Umbrellas. The only thing worse than using us is forgetting us in a cab. Well, the Raiders bought some time there in the offensive zone, and now they pour back in. Marchuk on the forehand, looks for Vigliotti, can't get the pass through in the slot, and the Kings will skate away with it now. It's a great thought by Luke Marchuka. Just one skate got in the way. Kings dump into the offensive zone. Icing waved off there. Koslevsky was to recover in the near corner. Tries to work that up to Fauci. Instead, a shot comes in on Bricker. Guides it gently aside to the end boards. Now Koslevsky has the puck. He's on the forehand. It sits in the slot momentarily, but Fauci is able to recover the puck. And now the Kings pour right back in. Kings still with possession. Koslevsky drives his man wide. and he'll have to circle the net, does the Kings man. He works it up to the far point. Shot comes in, blocked nicely though by Vigliotti before it gets to the cage. Vigliotti goes to recover, try and fire it out of the zone. Vigliotti is able to get his stick on the puck, and he sends it weak side all the way out of the zone, and Fauci now on the forecheck, pressuring the Kings man. Fauci taken out of the play there as he enters the offensive zone. Nice block. He looks for Marchuka in the slot. Kings instead recover. They're able to get away with that pass and skate the puck the other way. The Kings through the neutral zone now. They'll dump in, and Samosi will have to cover. Samosi gets in the way, the Kings send that shot in on Bricker, but he's able to make the save on that bad angle shot. Now the Kings will have to recover in their own defensive end. They fire back in and take possession of the puck. Weak side pass sees the Kings pick it up in the neutral zone. Kings now break in the offensive zone. Steinfink there to cover in the slot. The puck rolls to the near corner. Berliner now sends that puck up to Samosi. Samosi has it at the half wall, takes a bad carom off the boards, but Samosi's able to work that up to Kalemba. Kalemba now in the forehand through the neutral zone. He's being back-checked, hooked and harassed by the Kings. No call there, and the Raiders fire that deeper, but the puck does come out of the zone as the Kings are able to pop it out. Berliner's able to send that puck back in, but just a moment too soon as we get an offside call here. Some of the fans are getting a bit restless at the lack of penalty calls. But the refs have heard it all before. Unmoved, with 8:07 left to go here in the third period, we'll get a center ice drop. It's Samosi, Kalemba, Berliner out as the forwards. Gossler and Tanoff as the defensive pairing. Berliner's able to win that puck to himself, send that puck over to Samosi. Gossler there with him for support. Samosi has the puck. He's at the blue line. He fires it on in, and now Berliner will give chase. Berliner breaks it in the zone. He beats his man to the puck. He's got two Kings men all over him in the near corner here. Puck comes out to the slot. Samosi looking for the one-timer. His stick's lifted just in time by the Kings, and the Kings come the other way. They've got a 2-on-2 until Berliner gets back on the back check. He does, forces a bad pass, and the Kings will have to take over at the end boards. The Kings do well there to keep possession. Still Kings puck. Kings try and send something to the slot. A diving block by Tanoff sees that puck never enter the slot, but we will get a stoppage in play here for a player down. Oh no, that's a Kings player down in the near corner. Slow to get up. Well, just like with Sam Berliner, you hate to see any player down on the ice at all. Kings player looks to be getting up on his own. He's back on his skates now, but still hunched over. Now standing up and rightfully gets a round of applause from the crowd. And a round of stick taps from the players on the ice. Well, it's hard to see down into that corner at this arena from the stands, so it's hard to know exactly what happened. But ultimately, the only thing that matters is that the player feels better. So we'll keep our fingers crossed up here in the booth, in the stands, and hope the Kings player gets back out there on the ice real soon. It's going to be a draw just outside the Raiders' defensive zone. Looks like Marchuka, Pizarro, and Finkelstein out as the forwards. Tanoff and Gossler again as the defensive pair. Kings win that faceoff back to center ice. Kings then send that puck in deep all the way to the end boards, and Gossler goes to recover. Gossler picks it up on his forehand, tries to reverse over to Tanoff. Kings man gets in the way, but Gossler gets possession back. Deflected puck sees it go up high over the glass. We'll get another stoppage in play with 7:10 left to go here in the third period. Well, the Raiders still have that 2-goal lead, working hard to maintain it, but it'll be a defensive zone draw to Bricker's right, with Marchuka at the dot. Same line still out there, Pizarro and Finkelstein, Tanoff and Gossler. Marchuka looking to win this on the backhand over to the far corner. He kicks it to himself and then wins it over to the far corner and Tanoff. Tanoff fires that up and out of the zone, and now Pizarro breaks. Pizarro's got the puck. He's able to backhand that over to Marchuka, who breaks in the offensive zone. Marchuka picks up there, looking for Finkelstein. pass cut out by the Kings. Now the Kings gumming up in the near corner. Puck sits there momentarily. There's 3 Kings and 3 Raiders go in. Pizarro comes away with it at the end boards. Pizarro looking up at the point. Instead sends a pass into the slot. Ooh, one-timer just misses by Marchuka. He gets a second bite at the apple, but the Kings goalie is there in time to cover, and we get a stoppage in play after a wonderful save there by the Kings goaltender with 6:41 left to go here in the third period. It's going to be another offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. And they'll get 3 new forwards out there with Petrosinelli, Meyerowicz, and Berliner. Still Tanoff and Gossler out as the defensive pair. Berliner leans over here, looking to win this on his backhand, back to Tanoff. He's able to win it on the backhand, but a Kings skate gets in the way, and they take over possession in their own end to the blue line. Still not out of the zone, though, as the Raiders try and work it in deeper. Instead, the Kings come away with it on the forehand. It's kicked forward by Tanoff, but just after it had left the zone, and we get an offside call with 6:28 left to go here in the third period. Draw is going to come just outside the offensive blue line for the Raiders, who are able to make a defensive pairing change as Koslewski and Hyder come out to replace Tanoff and Gossler. Berliner again, leaning over at the dot. Again, winning it on the backhand over to Meyerowicz. Nifty play there. Meyerowicz goes backhand, forehand, is able to dump that puck into the zone. Now Petrosinelli in on the forecheck. Gums up a pass out of the zone. The Raiders are happy to keep this in the offensive zone as long as they can. Petrosinelli out in for support. Puck sits in the near corner. No movement. Still no movement. Finally, the Kings do come away with it. Koslewski tries to stop Kings player from coming through the neutral zone. He's able to do that. He backhands that farther for Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz finds Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli sends a shot in on the Kings goaltender. Saved and frozen there. No rebound. 5:53 left to go. We get another stoppage in play here in the third period. Well, the Raiders are working some short shifts out there after skating hard yesterday and today for most of this game. Look for those quick shifts to continue. Marchuka now at the dot. Marchuka leans over. Well, we get a bad drop there as both the Raiders and Kings wingers are creeping into the face-off circle. So we'll do it all over again with 5:52 left to go here. They're both warned. The ref has his back to them when he makes the drop. Pretty common for wingers to creep in and try and take possession of the puck. In any event, the Kings win that faceoff. They work it around weak side and look to get it out of the zone. They only get so far as Hyder, though. Hyder's able to keep the zone, and Marchuka fires in, try and pick up the puck. He turns his man. The puck continues its forward momentum, so he has to go back and get it. Takes a heavy hit into the boards, but he's able to work that puck up to Vigliotti. Vigliotti has the puck. Tries to send something in on his backhand. He gets handcuffed. Fauci picks it up. Fauci now over to Marchuka. Marchuka, they're cycling nicely. Vigliotti takes a big hit right in front of the cage. Again, no call for any kind of interference. Now we get a call here, but it's unclear who's going to go to the box. We're going to get, looks like, a slash call here on the Raiders as all the players leave the zone. It'll be Fauci going to the box for 2 minutes for slashing with 5:18 left to go. And he appears to disagree with that call, but there's no appeals process for him, and so 2 minutes are put on the board with 5:18 left to go. It'll be a defensive zone draw for the Raiders. Marchuka out there. He's got Samosi, Tanoff, and Gossler with him. Bricker gets set. Faceoff comes just to his right. Marchuka wins that over to Gossler, and Samosi's able to get that puck past his man and gain the neutral zone. Gains the red line, he dumps it in. This will kill some time off the penalty. Samosi's still in on the forecheck. He circles and tries to gum up a pass. Instead, the pass comes to the near half wall, but Marchuka fires in on the forecheck. He's able to keep the puck in the offensive end, at least for a few seconds. Those seconds could be valuable as the Kings break out through the neutral zone. They come weak side to the Kings. They look to dump it in. Instead, they send it back as they recoil, but they're in the offensive zone, and they have to wait until everyone comes into the blue, past the blue line, that is. Kings still can't get possession of the puck in the offensive zone. Raiders again turn the puck out of their defensive end and send that puck in deep. Kings will have to pick up in their own end. They go for that diagonal pass through the neutral zone. That bouncing puck evades everyone, and the Kings are going to be able to pick up here in the offensive end. Gossler working hard to keep his man out of the play. The Kings circle with the puck in the high slot. They're on the forehand. Send a shot that's deflected high of the cage. Still 1 minute and 3 seconds left to go on this penalty kill for the Raiders. The Kings have possession at the end boards. They're looking for a slot pass. They find someone at the far dot on the forehand. Now they look for that back post shot. Instead, the puck rolls wide, and the Raiders look to pound it out of the zone. Still a rolling puck there. Comes up to the blue line. Kings with possession. Backhand pass over to the far half wall, and now to the near point. Near point shot, blockered aside nicely by Jason Bricker. And the Kings still with possession. The Kings fire one in over Bricker's shoulder. He never saw that one. 3:51 left to go here in the third period. This game just got a lot tighter. It's Kings 1, Raiders 2. Well, we'll be back to 5-on-5 skating here as that penalty gets wiped because the Kings scored a goal. That was a laser of a shot from the point with a lot of traffic in front of the Raiders' net. Just no way Bricker could have seen that shot. And it went right over the shoulder and on in. Well, seems to be some confusion at the scorer's table, as both coaches have had their say from the benches. And there are still 4 skaters for the Raiders out there to 5 Kings. Unclear if the discussion was about a major penalty or not. Or perhaps just another minor penalty. Must have been another minor penalty called at the end of that play. In any event, the Raiders still down a man. So unclear if a penalty was wiped or it was a major penalty. We won't get the explanation until after the game. In any event, the Raiders break back through the neutral zone. Pizarro has the puck on his stick. He's able to work that in deep. 3:40 left to go as the clock continues to run. Pizarro bodies his man. Gums up any pass there. And the Kings look to break out, but they can't get out of the zone. Puck comes over to Pizarro. He's on the forehand. Bad angle shot. Blocked there by the Kings defenseman. Raiders still with possession. Finkelstein guides that puck up to Koslewski. Comes back to Finkelstein. Pizarro tries to knock that down on a deflection. Instead, it goes just high of the cage. Kings trying to cycle with the puck. Instead, the Raiders have it. Puck comes out through the crease. Kings able to guide that safely, though, out of the zone. And Hyder goes to collect the puck. Instead, it hits the linesman. And we will get a stoppage in play here for a Raiders offside with 3:05 left to go in this game. Still 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go on this penalty kill for the Raiders, nursing a 1-goal lead now. This drop's going to come just outside the offensive zone for the Raiders. It's Berliner and Meyerowicz as the forwards. Koslewski and Hyder as the defensive pairing. Berliner wins it to himself forward in the offensive zone. He's on the forehand. He sends a shot just wide of the cage. Meyerowicz goes to clean up in the near corner. He sends a shot all the way to the slot to Berliner. It's saved nicely there by the Kings goaltender, and the Kings will come away with possession here after that shot. Raiders get back on this penalty kill. Still 56 seconds left to go on the kill as the Kings look to work this up through the neutral zone. Meyerowicz harassing his man on the forecheck. Now the puck comes to Berliner. That's a hand pass, so the Kings have to wait momentarily as the puck comes all the way through the neutral zone, past the end line. We'll get an icing here on the Raiders, and it'll be a defensive zone drop for the Raiders with 155 seconds left to go in this game. Raiders with a 1-goal lead, but down a man for the next 44 seconds. Still Berliner and Meyerowicz out there as the forwards. Berliner's going to look to win this faceoff safely over to the near corner if he can. Kings win that faceoff up to the point, but the bouncing puck comes out of the zone, and Meyerowicz on the forecheck forces a pass to the weak side in the neutral zone. The Kings will have to recoil there. They do. They turn, try and come through the neutral zone. Taken off the puck, though, are the Kings by Berliner. Berliner backhands a pass over to Meyerowicz. It bounces off his stick, and the Kings dump that puck in. No icing, though. 24 seconds left to go here on the penalty kill for the Raiders. Now Steinfink out there. Steinfink tries to recover the puck in the far corner. He swipes at it once, then twice. He works it over toward Meyerowicz. Puck rolls off his stick. Berliner's able to cut that shot out, though, before it reaches goal. Kings keep possession in the offensive zone. 2 even minutes left to go. 8 seconds left to go on the kill for the Raiders. Berliner tries to get that puck out of the zone. Instead, the Kings are able to keep it in the zone. Kings still with the puck in the offensive zone. It does roll to Meyerowicz, who's able to break that out of the zone. And now it'll be 5-on-5 hockey for the last minute and 46 seconds. Kings come through. They send a shot wide of the cage. Just wide was that shot by the Kings. And it's 5-on-5 hockey for the next minute and 38 seconds. Petrosinelli works that puck up through the neutral zone. He's looking for Marchuka at the offensive blue line. Instead, the Kings cut out that pass and they dump in the offensive zone. 90 seconds left to go now as Steinfink has the puck in his own end. He's at the near corner. Shot doesn't make it to the net. Second shot comes all the way through the crease. King's able to put a stick on it, though, as Aiden's lifting the stick of his man. The Raiders come away with it. Marchuka has the puck. He skates it out of the zone. Loses possession in the neutral zone there with a nice Kings back check. The Kings turn the other way. It's a 3-on-2. Slap shot comes in wide of Bricker. And Aiden will try and recover here in the near corner. Kings come away with it. They send something into the slot. Rolling puck there. Sees it come up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz has the puck. Dangles around his man, who gums him up long enough where he can only fire it in to the offensive zone without possession. Now Gosler has the puck. He's gained the blue line, and he's in the offensive end. Gosler still with the puck. He's sent wide, sends a bad angle shot wide of the cage. Tanoff recovers at the far point. Tanoff keeps the puck in the zone, and is able to work that puck in a little bit deeper, but not quite to where he'd like it, and the Kings break out the other way. Kings with the puck now with 35 seconds left to go in this game, and they're offside. Kings are offside with now 32.7 seconds left to go, and it's an empty Kings net. They'll have 6 skaters out there for their offensive zone draw here. Now, just outside the blue line, just outside the offensive zone, but before that happens, we'll get a Kings timeout with 32.7 seconds left to go. They'll look to draw up a play here to tie this one up.
Let's go, Raiders!
All right, well, the timeout looks to be just about over as the Kings get their last second instructions in a literal sense from their coaching staff, and the Raiders get theirs from theirs. Well, let's set it up here, folks. Raiders have a 1-goal lead. It's 2-1. Kings just outside the offensive zone. They've got 6 skaters on the ice. They've got an empty net. Raiders will do anything they can just to kill this 32.7 seconds left. It includes shooting on down at the empty net. And it includes just keeping it in their zone. Anyway, face-off drop. Raiders try and win it forward. Instead, it comes to Gosler in the defensive end. He just looks to work it out of the zone. Comes up to the point. Now Berliner goes and works and gets it in the neutral zone and then dumps it in the offensive end. Berliner does not chase the puck. Instead, Bizarro goes after it on the forecheck. Kings come away with it. Kings with the puck in their own end. Now looking to get it through the neutral zone. They do. Still skating hard are the Kings to the neutral zone. The puck rolls into the Raiders' offensive end. 7 seconds left to go here as the Raiders look to pump it out of the zone. Now 4 seconds. Raiders happy to gum it up in front of their bench. They do. 1 second and then 0. There will be the buzzer, and that's a Raiders victory. Raiders win this one 2-1 over the Long Island Kings in their first state game of the 2022 to 2023 season. Thanks so much for joining us here on Midnight Sports. We hope you enjoyed it, and until we speak again, stay safe.